Hey everybody, welcome back. Wanted to do a video about how photographing the mundane can help you create. And it sounds kind of silly, but one of the things I seem to grow the most with myself, or one things that I do, is I can't always get to an epic location. In fact, I very seldom get to an epic location. I live in the Midwest. There's cornfields and bean fields, and every once in a while a hayfield. We got some of those too. That's a specialty around here. Um, Not all the time, but we got cornfields. Sidetracking. So what I'm getting at is one of the things I do is I go out and we're trying to clean up the backyard and get things done, but I'm always taking pictures there. And it's kind of interesting. This is an old place and needs a lot of work, and you can kind of see that in the photos here. So, you know, this is not necessarily the most perfect site. Another thing I noticed is this entire series was shot with the 27 millimeter. I started going through picking out photos for this of some things, and I realized that I used the 27 uh, pancake lens on this a lot. Not that I don't use other lenses, but I was kind of surprised because it's a slower focusing lens. Some say it's not as sharp um, as maybe some of the others. I got some good lenses. I got like the f18 millimeter 1.4. That thing's just a cracker of a sharp little lens. But anyways, let's go through this. So I was gonna kind of show off some of the mundane photos that I take and just try to show you how you know, what I start focusing on, what I start looking at, what I'm improving to. If you'll notice, a lot of these are they're still in the straight raw form. So nothing's been done to it. Capture One does automatically apply the film simulation to it, but it's not the same. It says it is, but it's not. When you compare them JPEG to the raw, it's still missing quite a bit. I just did a video on that. That should be up soon, if probably before this one. So check that out. Maybe I'll put a link in the description if I can remember. So yeah, it's on these items here. But I adjusted these. Let's see, do I still have one that's not adjusted? Well, no, not really, but anyways. So this is some of the stuff that I'm talking about on photographing the mundane or photographing the bag. This is laundry hanging up. And I came up to it and the light was cool, the colors were cool, and I'd taken a few photos and then I noticed my shadow. And I was at first trying to move away from my shadow. I was, trying to get more of this color, more of this thing. And then all of a sudden I realized, pop, I could take a selfie in a sense. And so I played with the shadow for a little bit and I got this photo that I like. I think it's really cool. I mean, you can count threads on this. Look at that at 200%. This is the 27. Granted, this was shot at f5.6, so it's right in the prime spot, but man, the level of detail is just fantastic on these newer Fuji bodies. I know other people say other stuff's better, but man, I don't know how. So anyways, let's kind of scroll back and go through our backyard a little bit here. And yeah, I live a good life. Don't judge. Good photos. But the light and stuff, again, shot with the 27. I have a black and white recipe set up that I like. It's nothing special. I did a video, or I'm doing a video on presets that you should watch. You just make your own. That's all you need to do is just make your own. So I'm constantly photographing my kids in the backyard whenever they're doing something. I mean, just look at that. Again, with the 27. Oh, popping other things up. 27, 5.6. That's just, and this is just as the raw comes in. I mean, we can really crank it. Just add some clarity to this. And voila. I want to get really crazy. I got a cool little brush. That Bright Eyes Jenna. Bring my size down a little. Now we're getting into editing a video. Boom. One thing I didn't notice I did on this is I left the white balance adjustment on. So the preset brush still has that white balance. So you got to kick it back to shot sometimes. Although sometimes it looks better the other way. It just kind of depends. But anyways, so I'm constantly playing, constantly capturing, the mood, the scene, the expressions. I'm always looking for anything just to kind of pop out. And, I'm constantly working on my framing a little bit, seeing how I can maybe draw a leading line up to them, not expecting angry looks or anything. Or just, something's kind of cool. And I try to get a majestic photo. This one's been edited a little bit. So I've isolated her out some and kind of give it a little bit more dimensionality. Probably realistically a 2-minute edit on this photo. I know there's a way to image, I think, new variant, F2. So we can look at the original one. We can just hit that. Boom. So here's the original. Here's how it came into the camera in RAW. I won't go over a full editing video unless somebody really asks me to go step by step on that. But one, straightening up the image kind of helped there a little bit. And again, just a little bit more pop, a little bit more depth. This would be closer to the JPEG out of the camera though. But again, just kind of playing around, liking eyes, always trying to make up compositions, always trying to just see what's working, what isn't working, and just having some fun at it. I take photos of random things, something I enjoy to do. At 27, zoomed in, 100%, sparkle in the eye, and you can start counting some eyelashes. That's at 2.8. This lens is a cracker of a little lens, and I don't know. I know people have said that they didn't think they were all that great, but and that it's a flat lens and doesn't have any, I don't know what the heck they're talking about. Unless you take a picture of something flat, which, can be interesting. Random things in my backyard. It's kind of crazy. You never know what you're going to see. And then I just try to find things out of nowhere. Taking a picture of a fence with some ivy. But I like the colors. I like the light. This hasn't even been edited yet. Nothing's been done to this. So there's still a lot of latitude in this to play as much as I want. Magenta with a locust. Caught that just not intentional, just luck. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Because we were sitting here, taking pictures with it, crawling on her. Interesting thing, something cool. Had a lot of fun. That's just taking advantage of whatever situation is in front of you and whatever pops up and taking a picture of it. I think that's really important when you're wanting to improve your skills. Editing, has some things, but this is an unedited file. This is good. I could print this exactly how it is and never even think twice about it. But if you do want to go in and play, now your heart's content. You can get the max out of your file now. Now you can just create something however you want. random objects. I'm just, hey, that's cool. This is the 18 millimeter. That's kind of why that one's popping. All right, that one slipped by me. I didn't realize that was 18. I thought it was 27 for some reason, or just didn't look at that one. Phenomenal lens. Just really like that. Um, this is the 18 as well. Okay, so a few slipped by me. They aren't all the 27. Forgive me. The colors, the dimension, the this is in my backyard. I don't have a nice backyard, but doesn't mean you can't put things in a perspective to enjoy. Um, Back here to the start. So there you go. That's kind of a long-winded way of try to make a masterpiece out of nothing. Just sit there and look at it, recompose, watch the light, chase the light around your backyard or around your local park or wherever. Just kind of play and see what you can develop. It's an interesting, you know, skill, photography. We have so much great technology that it's easy to make great photos. So to be, but it's also easy to fall into a spot of just making how the camera interprets it versus bringing your own depth to it. Um, if you notice, there's a few different almost themes in this just because I'm so random. From contrasty and punchy to a little bit lighter to, a little bit more textured feel emotions. But just picking up and playing with the ability of the camera. Not just picking up the cell phone, letting it expose it, not putting it on, auto everything. Try to pay attention and make one adjustment at a time. Just playing with your exposure balance or your exposure compensation. Just playing with your depth of field, your aperture. Just playing with your shutter speed. See, a lot of people say shoot manual, which is great. And I encourage everyone to know how to shoot manual. Sometimes it's easier to learn just doing one step at a time with it. But anyways, rambling on way too much. I greatly appreciate all the comments, feedback, and everything. Yeah, if you have anything to put to it or tell me where I'm misguided and wrong, let me know. But you have a good evening or day or whatever time it is. It has to be sometime somewhere.